Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening, scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer in association with Wasserman Boxing. And brought to you by our headline partner, Bet365, with our official partners, Creed 3, Everlast, Village Hotels, Wow Hydrate, and FCI Markets. Overseeing this contest is our steward in charge, Robert Smith, our timekeeper, Andrew East, and our judges at ringside, Phil Edwards, Michael Alexander, Howard Foster, and our referee in charge when the bell rings, Victor Laughlin. So, Manchester, I need you all to get up out of your seats, raise your drinks high, and get wild. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with pink trim. He stands 5 feet 9 and 1/2 inches tall. He weighed in at 11 stone, 5 pounds. He holds a professional record of 32 victories versus 3 losses, with 19 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Liverpool, England. Introducing the former British, Commonwealth, and WBO World Champion, is Liam "Beefy" Smith. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with red trim. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 11 stone, 5 pounds. He holds a professional record of 32 victories versus 2 defeats, with 23 wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Brighton, England. Introducing the former British IBO and WBA champion, is Chris Eubank Jr.
So the introduction's complete. Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. both remove their gowns and make their way to centre ring for the final instructions.
Okay, gents, you know the rules. Obey my commands at all time. Defend yourselves at all time. God bless. Touch gloves.
British boxing bloodline set to commence battle here at the Manchester Arena as Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith engage in an enticing encounter. World-class professional boxing here on BBC 5 Live and BBC Sounds as we await the opening bell.
Seconds out, round 1.
This duel between world-class fighters from domestic boxing dynasties is underway. 12 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam "Beefy" Smith. Chris Eubank Jr., the slightly taller of the two boxers, 5 feet 11 inches tall, against the 5 feet 9.5 of Liam Smith. Chris Eubank Jr. with a slightly longer reach. He's wearing white trunks trimmed with red, and it's Liam Smith wearing black trunks trimmed with pink. Chris Eubank Jr. in the space of centre ring fires out a double left jab from around his kneecap, followed by a right cross. His hands low, a relaxed guard being proffered. Liam Smith, as is his wont, peering between high-held gloves. Both men circumspect and on the edge of range. Liam Smith fires a right cross into the body. Chris Eubank pushes down on the rear of his head, and the two men lock horns at figure 8 on the clock face, if you consider that our position is in between figures 5 and 6 here ringside at the Manchester Arena. That's a solid left hook landed into the body by Liam Smith near figure 7 on the clock face. Referee Victor Laughlin separates the two men, and the action resumes with a minute gone. Both men just on the edge of punching range, standing right on top of the logo. Liam Smith bobbing and weaving in the pocket. Chris Eubank Jr. on the back foot and looking to flick out a feather-light left jab. Not the ferocious punch picking in the pocket. Solid left jab landed by Chris Eubank was a rapier-like left. Liam Smith countered immediately. Two world-class fighters locked in concentration as Eubank looking to dance to his left and land a left jab. And when the two boxers came into range on the inside, shoulder to shoulder, Liam Smith landed a clever right uppercut on the bearded chin of the shaven-headed Chris Eubank. Beyond the midpoint of this opening round. And even though Liam Smith is renowned as a front foot pressure fighter, a consistent puncher, there is plenty of craft and guile behind his pressure, his educated pressure, and he does a lot of things that the untrained eye perhaps won't be able to discern. But he's very much, look at that, bobbing and weaving in the pocket, making Eubank miss, and then he tries to respond, but then Eubank with good movement from the waist, causing Liam Smith to miss. But Liam Smith kept the attack going and used his weight to drive Chris Eubank Jr. back to the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. Final 30 seconds of this opening round, and it's Eubank electing to box principally off the back foot. Liam Smith in center ring, peering between his gloves, shooting out a left jab, and now the two boxers locking horns on the inside. And we talked about whether the natural size of Chris Eubank would be a factor, but it was interesting to note that Liam Smith walked Chris Eubank back towards this blue corner on the near side of the ring during that clinch at close range. 10-second clapper is imminent here at the Manchester Arena. Closing seconds of this opening round, a rather cagey round with Chris Eubank flat-footed and on the back foot, not launching the explosive clusters that we associate with him at his explosive best. And Liam Smith just fixing his man with a glare before sauntering back to the red corner. Cagey first 3 minutes, Steve Bunce.
Cagey and tense like we expected. I think Chris Eubank let his hands go a little bit too much and missed 5 or 6 times with those 2 or 3 flows. It's going to take him a while if he's going to find his range and settle down and land the type of stuff that he lands. I think Liam Smith's fighting a very good fight. I know we're only 3 minutes in. I know it's only been touch at the moment. I've liked everything I've seen so far, Joe, from Liam Smith.
Yeah, there's no quarter given there. Obviously, when they're getting up close, Eubank Jr. is resting his head on his shoulder, not allowing Liam Smith get to work. But it's the first phase coming in. Eubank's picking a little flicky jab. Liam's then coming in with a solid jab, and then Eubank then is retreating all the time. Like I say, Liam Smith was on the front foot, and he was letting Chris Eubank know he was in for a hard 12 rounds tonight.
And not being manhandled, Ronald. Not being manhandled.
So we go into the second round of an all-domestic middleweight duel that has really captured the imagination of the fight fraternity. Action is at center ring as both men exchange jabs. Liam Smith exploding out of a crouch, landing with an up jab as left-right combination landed by Chris Eubank Jr. He's lashing out a left jab from around his belt line, and the right hand that followed was a bolo shot where the palm was turned upwards to the ring lights. Double left jab and then a right cross as Chris Eubank Jr. up on his toes now. There's that same combination once again while skitting off to his right. Left jab, right hand around the corner as Liam Smith gets up close, claims his man, and applies a bit of an arm bar with his forearm in and around the chin of Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank Jr. with a pot shot right hand and then spun off to his right to ride a right hand that Liam Smith fired in. Here Liam Smith looks for the same shot once again with Eubank pinned on the ropes just above our commentary position at figure 6 on the clock face. Referee Victor Laughlin hasn't called time, but he's placed his hand around the rear of the neck of each boxer, and he's saying to both of them, clean this up. You're world-class operators. Let's show these fans here at the Manchester Arena all of your boxing ring craft and intelligence. Double right hand, left uppercut missed from Chris Eubank, and then a right hand was bombed over the top and landed by Liam Smith, but a terrific up jab from Chris Eubank Jr. And remember, it was that jab that he used so effectively to send Liam Williams to the floor in his last outing at last year. So Liam Smith trying to crowd his man at figure 3 on the clock face. Eubank bobbing and weaving before claiming Liam Smith and walking him back out to the space of center ring. Chris Eubank Jr. composed, pursing his lips, and then scores with a left hand to the body, an exploratory left hand which found a range. Liam Smith feinting on that front foot, stepping with it before backing out of range. Now bobbing and weaving as Chris Eubank looks to find a range with a single jab, but both of the singles he fired out from the kneecap were off the mark. Eubank voluntarily retreating to his blue corner on this near side of the ring. Applies the front foot pressure by shooting out a jab, and there's a sharp shooting right cross which came behind the jab from his kneecap, which landed. Left jab in response from Liam Smith. Right hand over the top attempted by Liam Smith, and then Liam Smith into the chest of Eubank once again, leading in, boring in with his head, and he put the heel of his glove into the face of Chris Eubank also. All of the veteran experience being demonstrated by Liam Smith during that coming together. And as a man who made this house famous, Ricky Hatton used to say, this isn't a tickling contest. Chris Eubank Jr. looping shots around, but not much accuracy as he's firing hooks in a wide arcing angle and uppercuts from his knee with his right hand, but he didn't find the range on any of his attempted punches. Right hand over the top was followed by a short left uppercut, which did land for Liam Smith as Chris Eubank bent over at the waist, trying to evade the overhand right. Final 10 seconds of this second round. Sharp shooting jab once again. He's flicked out 3-4 times from Chris Eubank Jr., countered by a single jab from Liam Smith. Chris Eubank Jr. in his own blue corner once again. Right hand over the top, followed by a left hook. Missed from Liam Smith. And Chris Eubank Jr. just ends the round after making Liam Smith miss with a shoulder shimmy. Eubank busy with his lead left in that round, Steve.
Busy with his lead left in that round, still missing with shots wildly. Liam getting close, not letting his hands go, because he knows if he lets his hands go and miss, he could get caught with something, either a backhand or a big wild swing. I tell you what I am really concerned about cuts. I'm really concerned. There's too much action. There's too many wild Eubank shots, elbows, shoulder and head. I just hope Liam doesn't find himself with a cut that changes the course of the fight.
And listen, it's not that Liam's not prone to cuts. He's been cut quite a lot during his career. Obviously, they're coming together.
Absolutely.
The forearms are in, the heel of the glove, like you say. The heads are coming together a little bit. I thought Chris Eubank turned up for the fight in round 2. After fight round 1, he came out, landed a really good right uppercut, and landed the better punch in that round.
So it's round 3. What happens now, Joe?
So into the third round we go. In this battle between two incredibly experienced operators. Left jab fired out by Chris Eubank, who followed it up with a right uppercut, but the right uppercut was off the mark because Liam Smith backed up, but as Liam Smith stepped forward, he walked into a terrifically timed lead left hand once again. Chris Eubank incredibly relaxed with that lead hand, swaying it like a pendulum around his quads, and then shoots it out. And because Liam Smith was coming forward, the impact was doubled up. Liam Smith launches with a right cross and then looks to manhandle Chris Eubank in his own corner on this near side of the ring. Chris Eubank Jr. looking to keep his head out of harm's way. So too is Liam Smith as the two men claim each other around the waist. Referee Victor Laughlin just had to step in between the two boxers, and now it is just on the edge of range once again. The action approaching figure 4 on the clock face as Eubank just backing up almost incrementally towards his own blue corner. Now he changes direction, moving to his right in counterclockwise fashion. Fired a speculative left hook, but was off the mark by some distance because of a clever move in the pocket by Liam Smith. And now the two boxers just approaching the perimeter of the boxing ring. Solid left jab landed by Liam Smith as Chris Eubank looking to draw in Liam Smith and explode with a rapid fire counter either from the lead left hand or the backhand, which is locked and loaded. Double jab success from Chris Eubank Jr. Liam Smith thought about firing a right hand over the top but didn't fully commit to the shot, and the two boxers just standing at the edge of long range, feinting, trying to draw that lead that they can counter. The concentration almost visceral here at the Manchester Arena. The crowd in a concentrated silence when you consider that it's sold out to a capacity approaching 20,000. This isn't a blood and thunder affair as a right hand to the body followed by a long left hook to the head is landed by Liam Smith. But this, a thinking contest between two boxers who have placed their top flight careers on the line. Both men still harbour ambitions to contest 4 world titles as Liam Smith lands with a right hand countered by a left jab in response. The first one got through. Jabs 2 and 3 were blocked by the gloves of Liam Smith as he's peering between them, but then an up jab did get through, as did that up jab as well, followed by another up jab. 3, 4 trip hammer left jabs flicked up from the quad by Chris Eubank, and then perhaps coming on an angle that Liam Smith is finding difficult to discern. Then a right uppercut brought into play with his back near the blue corner, neutral blue corner turnbuckle from Chris Eubank. Terrific portion of the round for him. There he looks for the right uppercut once again, and he let his hands go twice, and now bent arm flurries being fired in by Chris Eubank Jr. in ferocious fashion, standing flat-footed and digging away with a right uppercut, and the gloves may have partially blocked them, but they still registered with sufficient force by Chris Eubank Jr. Then he turns a right hook around the corner, and there's another flashing right uppercut once again from Chris Eubank Jr. He followed up with a left hook, but it was off the mark. But in the closing 30 seconds of this third round, Chris Eubank Jr. beginning to demonstrate the right uppercut out of his repertoire, and he had success with it, Steve.
You know, they're still crashing through, and maybe something's being taken out of them, those short right uppercuts. Then there were a couple at the end. Liam's getting himself into position, but he knows, unless he's guaranteed that his short shot will land, he's going to get countered, he's going to get here. Eubank just finding a bit of distance with that left and screwing the shot up and dropping the shots down. Still a bit wild, but the last 20 seconds there was not particularly good for Liam Smith, John.
No, Liam Smith round 1 came out, head moving, slipping, rolling. Round 3 he was coming in a straight line, 2 square on, attempted to jab, and Chris Eubank Jr. was beating him to the jab. Liam Smith was throwing the odd single right hand, leading with it, but he's walking onto the jab. He's looking to time Eubank over the right hand. When they get close, Eubank Jr. is tying Liam Smith up, putting his head on his shoulder, and he's not letting Liam Smith go to work. Liam Smith needs to come in, he's coming in straight lines, just needs to come out on either side and make Eubank come out either side.
So into the 4th round we go, between 2 boxers who are members of some of the most prominent fighting families in British boxing. The Eubanks and the Smiths. Add to that list the Hattons, the Finnegans, the Mackenzies. So many outstanding fighting families have graced this magnificent sport, and here on this stage at a capacity-filled Manchester Arena, it is Chris Eubank Jr. who just grabbed the momentum in the closing stages of round number 3. And the right uppercut, such a prominent punch in his arsenal. Remember, he had elbow trouble, which prevented him from throwing a right cross for a portion of his career. And the right hand over the top, and then another left uppercut. And Eubank is down in the blue corner, and he's completely gone. He gets up, but his legs are gone. Victor Loughlin giving him every opportunity, but Victor Loughlin now asking Chris Eubank to walk towards him. 2 minutes remain, and Chris Eubank Jr. facing the most desperate crisis of his career. He simply can't maintain his boxing stance, and Victor Loughlin has torn it off. And Liam Smith has produced the biggest win of his career, a devastating 4th round stoppage, penetrating the low-held defenses of Chris Eubank Jr. And Chris Eubank Jr., his chin was checked, and for the first time in his professional career, his chin was found wanting. And once Liam Smith had Chris Eubank Jr. going, he was relentless. And he continued to find Chris Eubank Jr.'s wide open, unprotected chin. Chris Eubank Jr. took a trip to the canvas, and once he rose back to his feet, well, his legs were unsteady, and Liam Smith did not let him off the hook. Liam Smith has prevailed in this grudge match between members of some of the most prominent fighting families ever seen in Britain. And Chris Eubank Jr. stopped for the first time in his career. A brilliant performance by Liam Smith, who grabbed back the momentum after being put under pressure by the uppercut success of Chris Eubank Jr. in round number 3. But Chris Eubank Jr. stands a defeated fighter in his own blue corner now. And to the spoils go to Liam Smith. A terrific win in this crucial contest at middleweight, Steve.
You know what? That was a scintillating, shocking and devastating ending. I'm not sure I've ever seen an ending like that, coming like it did, as such a shock. That was quite sensational. And I'm going to just say a big praise to Joe McNally, who jumped in to stop Chris Eubank taking any more punishment, because he wanted to carry on fighting. Liam Smith didn't need much encouragement. We'll need to see that in slow motion, the last 2 minutes of that fight, Ronald. That was simply sensational.
Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. all of a sudden just fell apart at the seams. He got caught, he was hurt, he was in the middle of the ring. Victor Loughlin could have stopped it there and then. He didn't. He gave him the benefit of the doubt, and Liam Smith walked in, right hand, very reminiscent of Donald Curry, Milton McCrory, just walked over right hand and finished the job. Unbelievable from Liam Smith. It's a fight I've always wanted him when he was with me, but listen, I'm so made up for the Smith family. Joe McNally, the team at Rotunda there, he's gone on the big stage. I said to you beforehand, 160 will not be a problem from Liam Smith.
You were right about that, Joe.
And I told Liam Smith all along, now's your time to move, and he's done it, and he's done it at a great stage, and I'm really pleased for him.
You know one thing, Ronald, okay, in all the predictions that are out there, if we'd have taken 50 predictions from 50 people, okay, I don't think that would have been a prediction. Even if you fancied Liam, you didn't fancy it by a 4th round knockout under any circumstances. That was simply devastating, shocking. Oh, it's just an amazing, amazing event, an amazing outcome.
What an incredible turnaround. Chris Eubank Jr., whose chin has been rock solid. Remember, he's boxed as high as super middleweight against some devastating punches up there, such as George Groves. But here, he was caught in his own blue corner. And once Liam Smith landed that right hand, while Chris Eubank Jr., his legendary punch resistance, just not there for him on this occasion. Truth be told, he did well to get back to his feet after being bombarded down to the canvas, but when he got back to his feet, as Joe Gallagher pointed out, Victor Loughlin gave him every opportunity, asked him to walk forward. And it wasn't a walk that appeared to have much coordination behind it, but on a fight of this stage, in a fight on this grand stage, Victor Loughlin gave him the opportunity, but Liam Smith took his opportunity and got his man out of there, Steve.
You know what, Ronald? It's a short left uppercut, we're just seeing it here, and it's a right hand. I think it's the short left uppercut and the right hand that did it. He touches down, that should have been a count there, and he doesn't know where he is. He's trying to defend himself. His legs are sagging. It's a left uppercut that does the absolute damage, and a left hook. It's the left hook finally that does it. That was a devastating flurry of shots, and that's what happens, kids, if you fight with your hands down low and rely on reflexes for your entire career.
Instinct saw Chris Eubank clamber back to his feet, and what instinct and toughness he demonstrated, but his senses were completely scrambled. And it's the left uppercut that is being replayed on the monitors here now, hence the ooze from the crowd here, a knowledgeable crowd at the Manchester Arena. The contrast in emotions that perhaps boxing delivers more decisively, more painfully than any other sport. There is jubilation over in the red corner of the Smith family. There is a crestfallen silence in the blue corner of Chris Eubank Jr. and his connections. Big Mo is in position, and we're about to get the official particulars, which will declare Liam Smith a fourth round knockout victor. So Liam Smith and his entire family continuing to gesticulate with and engage with fans in the crowd here. We're just awaiting the verdict to make this official. Good to see that Chris Eubank Jr. is up on his feet and moving under his own steam, Steve. But he must be absolutely devastated as to what has just unfolded here tonight.
You know, he can lose on points. He's done it twice. He can be in hard fights. He's done that a couple of times. But that outcome, as I said, there will be something that he never even planned or thought could possibly happen. He took too many shots in that corner. His chin, there's nothing wrong with his chin. You get caught with 7 or 8 really good shots, you go down. He took a great left hook. He took a great right hand. He took a great left uppercut. But you can't then take that again and again, and that's what happened in the corner, Ronald.
And that uppercut was practically an open shot because he was already buzzed by that time.
And then it's the left hook that comes in afterwards. At that point, he's gone. His body sags in front of us. And when he slides down, and it's a bit confusion and chaotic here, he went down like a man that was unconscious. He then came back, and you saw it. Maybe Victor should have stopped it. Maybe he shouldn't. It's that type of night in here. Wowee. When he went back the second time, he gets caught with a great right cross in what might be classified as the second phase. What is good, and what we were told wouldn't happen, are the embraces that have taken place in the ring since the fight ended. We were told that wouldn't happen. It has, and I'm delighted it has.
Well, the ring is filled with a multitude of people. Here's the official verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Victor Loughlin calls a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 9 seconds of round number 4, declaring your winner by TKO, Liam Smith.
So Liam Beefy Smith declared a victor by technical knockout at 1:09 of round number 4. And such is the honesty of this gladiatorial sport of boxing that Chris Eubank Jr. applauded Liam Smith's moment here at the Manchester Arena and made his way over to the red corner on the far side of the ring and shook hands with all of Liam Smith's team. All of the rancor, all of the acrimony that characterized this build-up, replaced by respect and sportsmanship that only boxers can share after they draw the very best out of one another in such violent confrontation. Liam Smith has prevailed in this domestic duel, and he remains a relevant force at world class in and around the 160-pound middleweight division. Chris Eubank Jr. exiting the boxing ring. Steve Bunce has turned into our roving reporter, so we'll see who he will be able to grab as he picks up the radio mic. But Joe, give us your assessment as a trainer as to the way that contest concluded in such violent and ultimately emphatic fashion because of the accurate punch picking of Liam Smith.
Yeah, it was. He was patient. It was cool. We said Chris Eubank Jr. arrived the round beforehand, but Liam Smith came out, put him to the ropes. What a left uppercut, followed by a left hook. Had Chris Eubank Jr. rising, tottering, coming forward like he'd consumed too much alcohol, wasn't really aware. Victor Lockham given the benefit of the doubt. Liam Smith came in with a thudding right hand that made Eubank Jr. try and cling onto Liam Smith's waist, but fell to the canvas. He got up, and Victor Lockham didn't even bother with the count. He waved it all over them. But a fantastic performance for Liam Smith tonight, and what an atmosphere, and what a finish to end a great fight week.
Indeed. It's a spectacular contest that has lived up to its pre-fight billing. There was talk in the build-up, so confident was Liam Smith of prevailing in this contest. He says, okay, well, when I deal with him on Saturday night prior to this contest, then we're going to have a rematch on my terms. It's going to be in my city, at Anfield. How much appetite do you think there will be for a return, given the conclusive, emphatic nature of the ending tonight?
As far as I understood it, the rematch was there for Eubank, but for Liam Smith, I don't think there was. Will Eubank want to do that? Liam Smith's got to demand it in Anfield, the crowd. What's wrong with Eubank Jr., his pride and everything else, and he may do, but that wasn't, there was no doubt about that. That was a conclusive finish there tonight, and it was very hard to sell it on Chris Eubank Jr. name on that, but Eubank Jr., what a time he's had of late. Obviously supposed to build up for the big fights with Conor Benn. Took Liam Smith thinking it'd be an easier job, and listen, he's come and stuck for him tonight.
So we're going to hand over to Steve Bunce, who has turned into our roving reporter here tonight, circling around the boxing ring. Steve, it's over to you.
Yeah, just an update. Chris is in the ring talking to Robert Smith from the Border Control, and Chris is not going to talk to anybody. That's understandable. He's going to go straight to his dressing room. But Chris's mother, Karen's been here, and his sister have been here, and of course they all look a little bit concerned. Chris himself still looks stunned. He looks absolutely shocked by it. I will be getting Liam Smith in a moment with Joe McNally. They're just talking up in the ring to Sky. We'll be the first people once they come to the ring apron. As soon as Chris Eubank's out of the ring, Ronald, I'll get up in that position and grab Liam there. So there is a look here at ringside, Ronald, of just shock and surprise. People seem absolutely stunned by what they've seen. Absolutely stunned by what they've seen. Chris Eubank is about to leave the ring now. Let me just get in position here, Ron, to make sure I don't miss Liam in this mad mayhem that's taking place inside the ring.
So Chris Eubank Jr. is taking the time to address the fans here. And again, it was preceded by a handshake between he and Liam Smith. So nothing but respect in evidence between these two boxers. And that is wonderful to see. And that is the essence of this sport, of this business, of professional boxing. Bitter enemies, bitter rivals who can show respect at the conclusion of their competition. So Steve Bunce remains poised here ringside. And Joe, given what Liam Smith has achieved in his career, including reigning as world champion between 2015 and 2016 at 154, facing off against the very best in the world in Saul Canelo Alvarez, where does this victory on this stage rank among his litany of achievements?
Every fighter is proud to win a British title. Every fighter is proud to become a world champion. There was no titles on the line here, Ronald, but look at the atmosphere, packed out, pay-per-view event, and Liam Smith, I'd say, most would put on one of his best career performances. He was calm. We were worried he was getting caught too much with the jab. Well, but once he had Chris Eubank Jr. cornered, he absolutely put him out there, lights out, left uppercut, left hook, calmness in the finish, knew went with the right hand. And like I said to you, you see him there, there's not a mark on him still. We're all worrying about cuts and everything else, but Liam Smith done very well tonight. And like you say, next, there was talk of Chris Eubank Jr. You were saying, oh, I'm going to turn up 50%. Them type of things, when you put them out, come back to bite you on the backside, Ronald.
Chris Eubank Jr., a box office star in terms of British boxing, is yet to win a majorly recognised world title. Won a fringe IBO title. He's been an interim champion. But despite the fact that he hasn't ascended to fully fledged world championship status, he has been a superstar in the sport of boxing for some time. And because of the manner in which he carries himself, always respectful, and the family name, of course, he knows how to sell a fight, and he is often a major attraction. But by staking his claim with such conviction, as did Liam Smith, well, we can have draws in boxing, but the odds are that somebody was going to be left with egg on their face at the conclusion of this contest tonight. It was a strange mix of cautious and explosive while it lasted, but the finish, my goodness, was utterly emphatic. Steve Bunce is still poised here ringside, and one wonders what the great and good of the fighting fraternity, David Haye, Tyson Fury, young prospects on the rise like Ben Whittaker, all in attendance here tonight. Callum Smith and Paul Smith Sr., the father of the clan, in attendance here. Paul Smith Sr. has just given us a thumbs up, so too has Callum Smith, a quick nod in our direction. But the celebrations continue here at the Manchester Arena, and now the fighting family Smith all posing for the photographers gathered ringside. These images being captured for posterity, and my goodness, they will rekindle sweet memories indeed. So Joe, you've been in the corner on major nights for so many of your boxers. Most recently, Natasha Jonas further unified her world title at 154. Give us a sense of the emotions that the trainer and the team will be experiencing after all of the hard work, all of the dedication to prevail in the manner that Liam Smith did. What will the team and the trainer be feeling right now?
All the elation. I'm so pleased for Joe McNally. Even at the stoppage, he still had the nous to go over and stop Chris Eubank Jr. and hold him up. But the pressure was on Joe McNally and the team. This was a huge fight. This is what I'd say their biggest fight. We've also got the Taylor-Cattrall rematch coming up. Now we know Josh Taylor's moved to Joe Mac, but this has given them a good boost, a good confidence, and a lot of belief in the team there at the Rotunda ABC.
So Liam Smith in his black trunks trimmed with pink, the word autism across the rear of the waistband, raising awareness of the condition that his sister Holly has. Steve Bunce is in position with Liam Smith. Steve, it's over to you to get the thoughts of the victor in this contest.
Liam, first of all, congratulations on one of the most sensational wins. Did you get a sense of that? Did you get a sense of that in the first couple of rounds? Did you get a sense that you could catch him and you could hurt him?
No, but I felt like the little shots I was catching him with, he was kind of like going very uncomfortable about. Like it was like he was.
He didn't like it.
Yeah, it's like he didn't want to get it. I don't know where to look. I haven't heard no sparring stories. I'm just pulling this out the air, but I just thought, whoa, right, you clean. You don't want to be hit. Like, look, I'm a weirdo. I don't mind getting it. I know it's strange. Steve, I've always been called weird for that, but I just thought you're terrified to get hit here. I know boxers don't want to get it. Stephen shouldn't get it, but I just thought, I said to you all week, he has got a great chin. I said, I don't think he can't be hit, and I've just proved it.
Well, you know what? You may have a great chin, but if you get it 10, you caught him 10 or so good shots. 3 or 4 at the end was staggering, and he was just there. I mean, the last combination, could you tell once you got him over in the ropes, not the second knockdown, could you tell that was it?
Yeah, I just knew. I just thought I can't let him off the because his fitness, he can get back into fight. So I thought I need to finish him now because he's fit, he's durable, and if I kind of enter the tank and don't get him out of there, I might have come unstuck. So that was what I thought. But I said all week, look, I'm a very good finisher, and you know a
clinical finisher.
Yeah, and I knew if I got him here to finish him.
And at the end, you know, I'm relieved that the two of you were embracing. I'm absolutely relieved the two of you were embracing at the end.
Yeah, of course. Look, I said, look, name me a Chris Eubank fight that's been respectful. Not many, but look, I've been slaughtered for it. Okay, something I might have said might have come across wrong. I apologise for anyone offended by it. I'm far from homophobic. I've got gay friends, female and males. I'm far from it. I respect everybody. It was just tongue in cheek with Chris, and I never even said the words, gay or anything like that. To be honest, Steve.
No, I was there. Now, Liam, once you were coming into the arena, you were walking backstage and you looked okay. Then once you came down the ramp, you just changed. You just went, that's it, I want to fight.
This is me. I told you all. I'm milk. There's not many, I don't mean this to sound cheesy, and that there's not many fighters who can milk a crowd and get a crowd going like I can, especially to my walk tune. So, like I said, that was up there with the best nights of my career so far by a mile.
Now, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant finish, brilliant crowd, brilliant night. Let me just ask you this one quick thing. Did he mention in the ring, and are people talking about, I'm going to say the word rematch? Is that what anyone said?
He just said, look, if Lee ever give me a rematch, I'll do it again. So I think Chris will go back and sit and watch, and he might have a think about his camp, and I don't know, I might have a think about 160, whether he struggled or not. He might evaluate it and think, no, I don't want it, so that's it.
But you'd give it if it was there, the right money?
It's on my terms. It's at Anfield.
Liam Smith.
It's at 157, 158, or yeah, it's on man.
Liam, I'm absolutely delighted for you, son. See you later. Absolutely delighted.
Thanks you, Steve. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Let me just see if where's Joe McNally? Joe McNally's here somewhere. Let me find Joe McNally. Smigger, is Joe here still? Let me see if I can come through. Go on, darling, come through. Oh, yeah, I'm looking for you, Ben. Ben, listen. Ben Shalom's joined me now. Now listen, you may have told me, okay, and of all the results that were possible, okay.
Are you Liam's?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about what happened. It was all absolute nonsense. Your man is the man. Mentally tough as anything. You should be very proud of it.
Yeah, you should be. You should push over there now and get in the way of it. Look, Ben, just quickly, we're about to go off here. A sensational, unbelievable night with a shocking, incredible finish.
Shocking to many people, but not people in the camp, because yes, we thought it would be a points win, but there was always that chance that he could do that. Liam Smith's a quality operator. He got the chance to prove it tonight. I'm delighted for him because he had a lot to deal with this week, and he's done it.
And I've got to ask that horrible question, and it's the one you know I'm going to say. Might we see a rematch?
Look, he's got the rematch clause. It will be up to Chris Eubank Jr. whether we see a rematch. I always said my dream, and Liam's dream in particular, was to fight at Anfield. That's what I hope we can do.
That's the way you finish your broadcast. Ben Shalom, thank you very much. A rematch at Anfield. A shocking finish. 28-1 that round was. What a finish. Liam Smith absolutely ecstatic. Ronald and Joe, I'm going to have to sit down and get an ice pack. An ice pack is needed.
Well, it certainly was searingly hot here during the 4 rounds that we witnessed at the Manchester Arena. An incredible atmosphere to accompany a contest that was highly anticipated, and my goodness, it has lived up to, if not exceeded, expectation because of all the scenarios that were being discussed between the boxing cognoscenti. I don't think anybody, Steve, considered or contemplated an inside the distance victory like that for either man, but particularly not Chris Eubank, given his toughness, conditioning and punch resistance.
Certainly not the bookies. They had it 28-1 for that round for Liam to win. And as Liam said to me in the interview there, Steve, I didn't think that was what was going to happen. That wasn't what I expected. He's not going to lie and say I expected to wear him down and knock him in the third or fourth round, but he did say that he caught him early and he thought, he doesn't like this. You heard that, Ronald. And that was the kind of look. And at the end of the day, as we said at the end of the broadcast, you get hit 2 or 3 times, that's a good chin. You get hit 6, 9, 10 times, it doesn't matter how good your chin is. You go down in the end, Ronald. Okay, you know those trees that are 20-foot round? You can chop them down, just takes a bit longer.
Well, there's an old boxing truism, the best chins in boxing are the ones that don't get hit. And once Liam Smith landed on Chris Eubank in his own corner, he refused to let his man off the hook. Terrific accuracy, potent punch power, and a clinical finish to take Chris Eubank Jr. out of there in the 4th round at the 1 minute 9 second mark. And Joe, having trained Liam Smith during his career, give us your closing thoughts on the performance that he's produced tonight and the manner of his win.
Liam's gone out there and done what I've always believed he could do. He's gone out there, he's showed his boxing IQ, he's gone against a bigger man. Everyone beforehand was saying Eubank could be the bigger man. I said to you all beforehand, he's used to sparring the big people, and his boxing IQ, his shot selection, his finishing punches. He may be going on, 33 now, 34, Liam Smith, but there's still plenty of fights in Liam Smith, and what I really want him to do now is to crack on and go and challenge for a world title.
So that concludes what has been a magnificent night of boxing here at the Manchester Arena. Our main event, which was a middleweight grudge match in a domestic showdown, has been won by Liam Smith in the most emphatic fashion. Chris Eubank Jr. consigned to the third defeat of his professional career and suffering his first inside the distance loss. For the entire team here at Manchester Arena, my name's Ronald McIntosh saying thank you for staying with us, and now we're going to hand you over to Different with Nicky Campbell.